Hey everyone, so today I want to talk to you about two of the biggest fears many people have when starting any sort of weight loss program. Is one, will it work? And two, will I be able to keep the weight off for good? Now, both of these rely on a changed mindset and understanding that weight management is a lifelong battle with many stages as you learn, change, and grow. Emotional eating to lose weight is very common throughout your weight loss journey. Most people eat for a variety of emotions at one time or another. However, some do it more often and overeat for more reasons until it then turns into that crutch or a habit. This is in part is to avoid coping with unwanted feelings or thoughts that have no immediate answer. Now, one can then react without accountability, can they? They can switch the focus to their weight, their body image, or their history of failures and attempt to cope with that familiar unpleasantness with a newly triggered one. It's why people fail constantly when they say, I'm going on a diet. Okay. Now, the first thing to think about this is mood versus food. Emotional eating can be a great catch all for all the reasons we overeat. We often blame food, poor eating habit, and a lack of willpower motivation as the root of our problems. Quite often, you'll say things like, oh, if we could just lose weight, everything would be great. If I could just be thin, I would be happy. Or if I keep this weight off, my life will be everything I want it to be. Or if I can stay thin, I'll get the job, the marriage, the love, the circle of friends. All the stories we tell ourselves. When the truth is, you can achieve those things at any size. The bond between emotions and food is solid. However, it is tightly entangled that it can be challenging to solve and a difficult cycle to break. When you say you eat because of stress, financial problems, family issues, fears, or uncertainties, those assessments are too broad. No one can immediately fix those descriptive views in one or two thoughts or actions. So, what do you do? Well, you can take that self assessment or question further. For example, what kind of stress is it? Is it job related? If so, in what way? Are you afraid of being downsized or let go? Is the environment you work in toxic? Is there someone that pushes your buttons or intimidates you? Do they remind you of someone else in your life? Someone from your past? How does that person, place, or thing make you feel? If it's relationship related, in what way, lack of relationship or in the wrong one, are your emotional needs being dismissed? Are you dismissing them? Does someone make you feel unloved, not important, or useless? Or is it just general overall life? Now, I need you to be really careful here because that is a large category. See, are you trying to please too many people? People pleasing is one of our problems as an emotional eater. Do you say yes when it should be a no? Are you afraid of not being liked, accepted, wanted, or included? Do the same with family issues, fears, or uncertainties. You must continue to peel the onion in questioning until you can get to the root of that emotional trigger. Now, this does require honesty and awareness of what you genuinely perceive in that situation. There's no room for trying to get others to see it in the way you see it or agree with you. Your emotions are just that, your emotions, and they have to be recognized before they can be managed. So, how do we zap the power of emotion eating to lose weight? Well, if the emotions are not managed, they will return and be coupled with regained weight and often guilt, sense of failure, and fears of gaining it all back. That cycle of broad life trigger, overeating, weight regain, negative emotion, repeat. That massive cycle. Is it easier to escape with food? Yes. Does it have a high price to pay? Yes. Can you actually heal and move on without the use of excess food? Hell yes, you can. Now, you all know weight loss occurs when you follow a simple food plan, an exercise routine, and actually address the triggers that send you to excess eating. It can be that simple, but only if you're ready to address the issues. The rest of the effort along this journey has to be working on the internal conflicts, facing issues that have been buried, and rebuilding the areas of your life that are missing or unhealed. See, managing emotions takes consistent internal work before your weight loss begins. During it, as changes occur physically and emotionally, and afterward for long term maintenance. So, how can we zap the power out of this? Well, first thing, let's start at the start. When did the weight regain begin? What was going on during that time frame? What did you stop doing that was in your best interest to continue? What changed, or more importantly, what or who did not change? Assess the situation honestly so you can recognize the breakdown. Now, if you've already got to this point, spend some time from when you have lost weight previously. How did this happen? Because we've all been yo-yo dieting. We've all have done something. We've all have lost weight and then put it back on again. So go back to that point. Just think about starting at the start. Second one, you need to start evaluating your goals. Did you actually meet them? Were they as exciting as you thought they'd be? Did life change to your happy place, or did it bring new challenges, confusion, or issues that you're not ready to address? Do you actually need new goals? What is your reason for losing weight and keeping it off now? Why now? And then when your goals are met, you need new ones. Otherwise, you'll keep naturally default to your old comfortable ways, which guess what? Will lead to excess eating, which is why fad diets, body blitzes, short-term focuses don't work because you'll drop a stone in a month, right? But actually, what happens then? How do you continue this? The third step is one thing I always get my clients to do is start keeping a food log again. Now, I'm not talking about MyFitnessPal, okay? I'm talking about a log. It's such a great tool to get you recentered and focused back on what you're consuming. Because as humans, we remember the really healthy things and the really bad, not so healthy foods that we consume. And usually the problem is actually in the middle. Your total consumption per day over the course of weeks gives you that valuable information that you may be ignoring. Look for patterns in your log. Okay, look for how you're feeling, how your emotions are, how hungry you were, how full you were. When in the day are you consuming more than usual? What is going on around this time? Look at those food choices too. Are you seeking comfort foods like sweets or fast foods? Which could signal chaos, or simply large portions of anything, which could mean actually you're throwing in the towel. However, you're not throwing in the towel on your weight plan. That is a smokescreen. You are, in fact, throwing in the towel or giving up or losing hope with something in your life, but you're expressing it through your eating issues. If we identify it, we can actually then take steps to address it. And the fourth one is get support. Okay. You need a safe place to voice your internal struggles. Okay. So, what you need to do is use your program support system. Okay. And if you don't have one, find one, reach out for one, reach out to your coach, especially someone who specializes in emotional eating or obesity, whether in person or online. Seek support in an inner circle with your friends. If you don't have that inner circle, then that's certainly an area that needs to be addressed. You need to work with like-minded individuals who understand your struggle. Otherwise, you'll be back to square one with emotional eating. And then the fifth one is address emotional triggers individually. Now that you do not have the weight to hide behind, right, you'll need to begin addressing your triggers one by one. You cannot overhaul your whole life in a few decisions. You have to feed, fix, forget, or feel your way through each one of them as they appear to you. Use your food as a guide to know if you're ready. If your food starts getting out of control, you're not ready to address that issue alone. You need to seek help. If you can manage food as you're dealing with the trigger, guess what? You're ready. And then the last one is never give up on you. Pause. Take time out. Give yourself a reprieve, but never give up on you. There's nothing in our lives that we do perfectly all the time. Guess what? Weight management is included in that scenario. Some days it's a breeze. Other days that ravenous rage is overpowering. Then there are days in between where you will hang on and get through it. It may not always feel empowering, but as long as you do not feed your way through it, you will actually win. Now, hopefully that's been really helpful. Let me know what your thoughts and if you've got any questions.